dear friends. This is part 2 of indoor lighting, and I'm very excited because in this video we are going to be talking how you can take pictures of your babies during the evening when we have a lot of different lights on. And we think it's easy, but sometimes we know the truth. It might not be too easy. So again, very quick and briefly, I want to, remind you that there are two different scenarios you're going to face at home. One of them, of course, is going to be during the day when luckily you have a, large window or a smaller window, but just we are able to use the beautiful daylight. And the second scenario is going to be when we have turned on our lights. And it doesn't matter, again, is it going to be during the day or is it going to be in the evening? But as long as we have some lights on, then we are going to know that we have to work around it. So one more time, when it's the best time of the day to take pictures, that would be different. Again, when you take pictures during the day, if you get lucky and you have a nice sun, make sure that you don't have direct sun over the pictures and over the bodies of the babies. Be careful with your shadow. You don't want to produce shadow when you're taking pictures of your cuties. The second option will be when it's cloudy, when it's overcast, and then you want to have you and your babies considering as close as possible to the window so you can get as many nice lighting as possible. And of course, you have to be aware in the background because this is very important. And when it's in the evening, you are just going to be using the lighting you have at home or the other space you are, but just indoors. And then if this light it's not enough, then you just can use like additional light. Is it going to be a softbox? Is it going to be an umbrella or a flashlight? But in this case, you can just mix different lighting, and that's what we're going to be talking about this video. Again, very simple and easy depending of the season outside. You're going also, the lighting outside will reflect inside in your home. For example, if it's fall, this brownish yellow cast will come inside in your home, and if it's during the winter and you have snow, the light will reflect in the snow and go back and give you a little extra lighting inside in your house. So here, this is extremely important. Again, we call this mixed lighting. And what is mixed lighting? Mixed lighting, it's when you have on one side a window, and it doesn't matter, is it going to be cloudy, is it going to be sunny. So the idea is that you're going to have, as you can see, the lighting coming from the window, going behind your babies, and you can see first it's going to be the sun, then it's going to be the cloud, and you're also going to have the lighting you have inside in your home. And you can see, so depending of the colors of those lighting, you can have like a white light, or you can have yellow light, and then they're coming on the other side, and you can see. So this way, when you look at pictures, which you're going to look in a little bit, you're going to see that practically if your baby has a lighter color fur, you can really see those mixed lighting, the yellow and the blue and the natural light. But this is pretty much when the light source is on one side, practically the shadow goes on the other side, and depends on how high it's the light, that's how much your shadow will be bigger or smaller. So keep this in mind, because believe me, this is essential key. And a lot of people, including photographers, actually, believe it or not, but takes them years to learn this, what we're about to learn. So to make it a little harder, right? And you're going to say, but Vasi, you always make things so hard. But believe me, friends, I try to simplify it. But here, so first of all, again, different types of mixed lighting, because here you had mixed lighting with the lights from the ceiling or reading lights and the natural light. And now we are talking about mixed lighting, again, with the lighting in the house and any other additional lighting sources. So again, the lights, they can be different colors. They will come from one side. But then let's say so here on the left side, this area is going to be lit. So it's going to be, you're going to most likely to have nice lighting, depends again where the light is coming. But maybe the second side, on the right side, it could be a little darker. So what could we use to compensate, right? So yes, we can always use reading light. In fact, I mean, one of our students, she was using a Tiffany lamp, and she was doing a pretty good job. I mean, after I coached her one-on-one, she changed actually the light bulb to different colors to match the rest of her lighting, and that's how we were able to use the Tiffany lighting, right? It could be also sometimes if you need just a little bit, you can use the flash light on your cell phone. And again, you can even dim it. If you think that your flashlight is not bright enough, you can probably go to the Apple Store or Google Play, depending on what type of phone you have, and you can download. There's so many different apps there with flashlight. Even sometimes some of the flashlights, they change colors. So keep this in mind. In fact, I actually even used a small flashlight. And again, sometimes you can zoom in, zoom out, you can spread the light. Even if you have seen these artistic modeling pictures when you have, the model, and then you have like a very defined circle of light and shadow. Sometimes you can, believe it or not, but accomplish this with the flashlight, which is, I think it's really amazing. And of course, you can use any type of softboxes. I just pick randomly this one, but it could be a softbox. This is umbrella. It could be, beauty dish. It could be just, strip light. So again, this is a course for beginners, so I'm just only basically going to cover them. But to me, the most important is for you to know about the sources of lighting and how you can turn this into your advantage, right? And so sometimes, in fact, when I'm doing my professional sessions, I may even turn off those lights and just move and have, artificial light. That's how we call it, artificial light from both sides. And then I don't really care about those lighting here, because the truth is that your cell phone will see the color of your light bulbs. Versus when I use my professional lighting and use my camera and special devices on my camera, I don't see this light. This light would help me to focus, but my camera see only my strobes. So again, you don't need to know this. I'm just telling you that, long story short, you have two lighting situation in the evening with artificial light. It's going to be either your home lights, or it's going to be adding a light source, which can be a lot of different varieties of the light source. So here, I want to mention to you about a white balance and the different colors of the light. And you're going to say, but Vasi, this sounds crazy. But I encourage you, turn on the lighting in your living room, in your bedroom, in your bathroom, and you are going to notice that your light bulb, they have different colors. Last year we renovated our home, the first floor, and our walls were a beige. And our light bulbs, believe it or not, but actually I think they were this color here, soft white. And then what happened is those colors can actually reflect on the lighting, what you're seeing. So I had these light bulbs, but I felt, and it looked like we had warm white. And it was so yellow, and I really didn't like it. So then we changed the color of our home to, now it's light blue. And then we also changed the light bulbs. And I think of right now our light bulbs, it's actually, I think it's daylight glow. And I can tell you, it feels so different. I have this joke, but it's true. I feel that I was living for 7 years in the dungeon, because it was so dark between the brown walls, beige walls, and this yellow light. It was really hard. Now being able to compare, being educated, it's changed my whole entire life. Even a friend of mine now, they just bought a house, and they are going to change their light bulbs according to my recommendation, because, and I know that we are not talking of this is class just for taking pictures, but this is how you are going to see now your home. So I told my friend, okay, you have this wall, those are the colors you want to paint. If you add this light bulb, this is what you're going to see. This is how you're going to feel, because the lighting, in fact, reflects to our mood, going back to mindset, and reflects of the mood of our babies. So my suggestion for you, if you are not sure exactly which color would be the best, maybe go to Home Depot or a different store you have in your area, or maybe try to order for Amazon, whatever you feel comfortable with. But let's say if you go to the store and you're going to notice, like in our store, they have the 2 different or 3 different brands light bulbs turn on. And you can see the name of the light, but typically they're going to be, similar to those. And then you're going to see which one you like the best. I mean, sometimes they come in a set of few lights, or maybe you can first start with to take one of 2 different ones. Let's say, for example, you like those 2, and then put them on in your room and then see which ones you like the best. But believe me, changing your lights, it's going to be fantastic. If you say, Vasi, you're too crazy, I love my home, love my office, don't want to change a thing, then the only other way for you to overcome if your pictures are too yellow or maybe too blue, so editing, you're just going to change the white balance, you're going to change, you remember, you have the blue, which is cold, and you have also the yellow, which is warm, and then the tint is the green color, and you have the pink, which is, also like it's warmer. And so those whites, and this is how you can manipulate the picture and change the color. And you remember, if really you cannot save the picture, because this is actually happens to us as photographers, sometimes we cannot save a picture, then simply change it to black and white and you're good to go. And here I actually wanted to show you even more different shades of the colors. And we don't really talk about it, but the truth is that the way we measure the light is going to be in kelvins. Kelvins, like when you go, if you have like a camera, I know we talk primary for cell phone, but in the camera you can actually go and custom pick your white balance. Some cameras actually they have a different by default white balance, and you can have, like, for example, I have 3 Nikon camera bodies, and the 3 of them have completely different default white balance, so I had to go there and change the kelvins. Of course, you don't know, and you don't need to know this, dear friends, but I'm just sharing it. So just in case if you look at, and you're wondering, what are those colors? What are those Kelvin? At least you have an idea. So here, again, I wanted to talk a little more about lighting. And this is very important. This is really essential. So you have, of course, the light bulb. And so if you have the light bulb above, the light is coming from here. Then if you have the light on this side, of course, the shadow will come on this side. And reverse. If you have, the light from here, the shadow will come from here. So if you remember when we talked about outdoor lighting and how the shadow travels and etc., this is the same. And right now, what is happening, again, going back to mixed lighting, and that's why I kept this white as well, is that you have yellow light coming here, you have the blue light coming here, and it's so confusing, right? And let's say, how about you have a second furry baby, which is next to the other one, 2 of them are next to each other, but then you have different, a light in each side, and then in the middle you have the yellow light. Believe me, both of your babies will look completely different. So believe me, this is really very important. Again, this is the same scenario. So you have, the light in the house, so you can have them, left or your right side. You can also have the above light, and you may have the light from the, the lamp. But the problem is that, like this lamp here, the light is going down, so it wouldn't reflect too much, but it's going to reflect the red here. This light, what is really great about it, that most likely you're able to change the height and actually really use it nicely, especially if you bring it here in front of it. Then the problem with the upper light is that you're going to have a shadow under the face. You can even see, that's why I put, those circles here. Yellow will come under because it's above. This blue one, it will come here, and then those ones are going to come here. So this is how the light travels and how things happen. So if we didn't have any of those, the light will come only on top. We're going to have heavy shadows. It's not going to be light in the eyes, so it's going to be very noisy. You remember noise, it's dots, very noisy picture. If we now start adding photos, that would be great. You're going to have more light sources, which I think it's fantastic. But then it would be really nice if this light was here and you just make sure that it's lighting the pets' faces. And of course, on top of it, to make it even harder, than if you add the light here, you're going to have some shadows also behind them. So a lot of things to keep in mind, in friends. And here are some examples of room. So again, this is, the head lighting, which means that again, if your pets are here, you're going to have shadows. You can even see under the pillows, you have shadows. You have here more light, but here gets darker. Again, the same way like during the day when you have the windows and the light it's spreading, that's also how it spreads in the evening when you have your regular lights. So this is another room. You can see, so it's really great that not only about those lights here are pretty strong. They're very bright, but do you see now what is happening? So now if your pet was here, this light will catch a little bit from the body, but then the head, depending on the height of your babies, the head might be dark. So what is the solution? Be a little closer to this pillow or the other pillow. And then also this wall here, it's taking a lot of light, it's soaking the light, but also it's reflecting more of an orangey brownie, so it will give you more shadow. And this one, it's a neutral color, so actually the light comes here and reflects. And you can see it's very simple. And even if you look under the chair, you can see exactly how the shadows travel. It's so amazing. Do you see here how the shadow, so it's this way and it's this way. So it's really important. And this is another room, bedroom. It doesn't matter, but you can see the yellow light. And so what's happening? Yellow walls. And then you also have, yellow lights. And then everything looks so yellow. So now, if you don't have any other lights, you just go there and edit the pictures, and you're going to add a little more blue and just change the white balance so the picture can look more realistic. Of course, there are different, lighting system you can try to use. Here there were just a couple of them. Very briefly I wanted to show you. So disregard the prices, because when I did this program, they change prices in Amazon all the time. But a lot of people, like umbrellas. I personally do not like those umbrellas. I personally use those soft boxes. And if you like, you can reach out to me. I can give you the exact links, because they change lighting all the time. And but I really like them. Of course, I have very expensive lights. I mean, I have lighting for hundreds and thousands of dollars, but I have find, and this is what I really, I preach, what I teach, is that I use those lights. So my lighting I'm using is less than $100, and I typically use 2, sometimes I use 3, 4, sometimes I photograph, in fact, even with 6 lights. But to me, the key of you being really good and moving on and learning is that eventually you know how to overcome any situation. And of course, it takes time and repetition and etc. So you'll get there. But the idea is that just simply, tested it out and see what works the best. You'll be amazed that you actually have a lot of things in your home and you don't really need to go and get 500 lights. And as I mentioned, one of my students, I coach her one-on-one. So before she met me, she invested and she has 8 lights. I'm not joking, it's real. It is real. So Lisa, she has 8 lights, and she's like, Vas, even so, my pictures are dark, my videos are dark. And I told her, I said, well, Every light is different. Every light has different power. Every light has different colors. Send me what you have. Let's organize it together. And let me tell you how exactly. So even if I would say always make sure one light is on your left, the other one is on the right, even so it depends of the distance. It depends of the color of your babies, depends of the wall and etc. So this is an example. I photographed this baby. I only used the natural light. I was actually able to overexpose. You remember that you can actually change the exposure before you take the picture from the phone, or you can try to edit it later. And so, the final picture looked really nice. And again, because I was using, you can see I use one phone and then the person behind me used completely different phone, the colors are so different. So this is here, Delilah. I was her photographer. I photographed her probably about 4 years ago, a long time ago. And this is a picture from last year before I opened Pet Pics Academy. And I just want for you to see the difference. This is no light, just regular light. And this is the last lighting when, we had a one-on-one coaching and I suggested her exactly with the lighting she has how to change it and angle it. And it's so incredible to see you have the tools. It's all about just, tweaking them, moving them until you really find what you like the best. So here, this is one of our students. Even the picture is very pixelated. The reason why I wanted to show you, because this is a very common scenario. You have your babies on the floor, so you have the light coming from here, and then, there it's getting darker. So honestly, this is really, really good. Here it's another, situation where the light is coming only from above, and you can see it, and you can see even this one, and then you have another light coming from here. But guess what? I wish there was a light on the maker on the right side. So the photographer on the right side, if they had the light coming from here, would give this beautiful glow in the face and, would give clarity, and the picture would look really, really nice. Of course, on the right side is the same picture. I just simply edited. Honestly, it looks great, but I know that the picture could look better. Like, again, look at Delilah. And this is what you can do the same. It's just amazing. Another picture of a student of ours. So you have here, the light coming. Here the light coming. Here it's a little light coming, from this side. But I wish there was a light from the right side, which can lead to the part of the face. Again, those babies, you can see lighting, it's coming from here. I wish, again, that light was a little further away, because this is so bright that there is no detail. You can read something, but not really. Here the baby looks good. Again, you can see this is now completely different colors. So this is more yellow and this is more bluish with pink. So this is yellow and green and this is pink and blue. So they look so different, and they're the same babies. This is an incredible picture. I didn't take it. It's a stock photo, but I picked it because I felt it's a great example. The reason why is because, first of all, there was, you can see here the softbox in the eyes. The catch lights are always going to help you and show you the lighting. So first of all, I know that this is kind of a bluish, like white light. You can definitely see it. Then here, this is a regular yellow light, coming from the ceiling, because you can also see it here. And then of course you have this one here, which with bare eye you cannot see it, but of course I can notice it that this area here, it's a little more orangey because it's picking up the color from here. Keep this in mind. This is very common, probably looks familiar. This is maybe before VASI time. But the idea is, again, very yellow light. The baby, it's yellow. The walls are turning yellow. You have shadows here. You have shadows here. So again, if you had a little light to come in front of the baby, maybe like a little flashlight, the baby's face would look completely different, and body as well. Here you can see, the light from above, again, super bright, but then everything else, it's too dark. So I wish they picked a different background. Maybe if they moved a little more left and have this wall as a background and even go a little lower, probably would be better. Another, student of ours, again, mixed lighting. You can see the light definitely it's coming from here. You can see it with the blue. You can see it here. You can see it with also the eyes, but here it's too dark. And some people like shadows, but I personally am very cautious how I use them and what is the message I want to say in my photos. This is also really nice. Again, it was taken in the evening, so in the evening the problem is that if you don't have too much light, you can see those dots, you're going to have the noise. And so what we did with Mary Ellen, and this is her picture, it's that she converted it to black and white, and this is how the picture actually turned out really nice and became more emotional. Another baby here, again, it's so bright on the left side, so bright, and then you have this orangey red in the background. It's even brighter than the doggy, so when I look at this picture, I actually cannot even see the baby. This is taken with softbox. I'm so proud, Christine. She has, definitely changed, with her pictures. It's amazing. She uses 3 lights. That was my recommendation for her, and you can see the result. It's just incredible. Another picture, very common again, you have picking up from something, so it's turning blue, which is kind of hard, but maybe if you use Facetune too, you're probably going to be able to remove this blue cast. In here, this is at home, picking up all the colors. Do you see the baby? It's actually more like wider, but it's picking up the colors around, it's picking up the colors from here, and that's why everything looks so different. And this picture was converted in black and white, so you can focus more on the baby. This is Magic. I photographed Magic, I think that probably around 4 years ago. And this is the key, that when you take pictures, if they are done well, they're timeless. You never know when you took the picture. And of course, I took nice portraits of him, but right before I was done, he was under the coffee table, and I just went and grabbed the picture. I wish I had, cleaner background, but sometimes it's impossible. And you can see I just have only one light source, and you have this shadow here. But again, everything is the same color harmony. It looks very mellow, so it looks really good. And ultimately, dear friends, this is what I would suggest for all of you to start creating. So this is a session I, had a few years ago, and after we did the outdoor pictures, father of this baby, he wanted me to take images of the baby with real life, on the couch, on the chair, on the format, and etc. Used lighting, and you can even see it if you really looked in the catch lights. You can see that I used lighting. But everything looks so nice, great lighting, no noise. It just looks outstanding. And the idea is that after you watch those 2 videos about indoor lighting at your home, see what you have. And believe me, sometimes you're going to be amazed how much lighting you have at home. Because again, it's all about the angle, the posing, and it's also about the lighting. Those 3 elements are going to either help you to have outstanding portrait or just help you to have a snapshot. Which one do you like? We know that it's going to be the beautiful portrait, and so that's why give it a try, look around, and keep moving lights, keep posting in the group. Thank you very much, dear friends. This is Vasi from Pet Pics Academy.